Hello there, Jonathon here, and welcome back as we're about to enter into our next room, Cavern of Bones. So before we continue on, we got a recap from our last room, the vault. So it looks like exploration token was not good to us as a Growing Dread card was drawn. So that ended up putting 3 of them on the stack here, and then the darkness was not held back, which drew a 4th card because on space 6 it says Growing Dread. So Shawna was not doing her job. Then we had a encounter card with an old prospector who ended up going crazy when Shawna was trying to deal with them, but her sister stepped in and unloaded a load full of bullets into him and killed him right down on the spot. But before dropping down onto the ground, he ended up giving Shawna a Darkstone shard. And of course, she thought it was kind of bulky and turned to her sister and gave it to her sister. And now her sister has 4 Darkstones. So they didn't hold back the darkness too good, and Shawna ended up having a double forge rolled, which produced Falling Rumble. So several wounds were dealt with that. And then Shawna, her and her scavenging, she did good but bad again this time, ended up drawing a Hideous Discovery card, which she ended up getting 2 sanity damage. So she's not doing good with her wounds and sanity, though she's been eyeing that whiskey bottle that her sister's been carrying around and really could use a sip right now to take the edge off, but her sister's not giving that up to save her life. And it looks like our Gunslinger is trying to stay close to her sister because the comforting presence is really helping her out, as she has no wounds and no sanity loss at the moment. So she's doing pretty good. But her sister, Shawna, yeah, she has 3 wounds and 5 sanity damage. So not good on her. Not good at all. Now we are in this room called the Cavern of Bones. Now on the bottom it's got the advanced, but we're not using advanced on this introductory mission. And for the advanced of Cavern of Bones it says Piles of Bones. Now if you remember back in room 2, the mining lift, we had an encounter card called Piles of Bones. And this is the encounter card that you would use with this map tile during an advanced game. And all you do is just place the map tile and the card together, that this card is in addition to anything else that would happen. And as you can see on the map tile, there's a bunch of bones here. So let's go ahead and continue on as we enter into our next room, Cavern of Bones. So we're on step 3, room exploration. This is when we go ahead and reveal the exploration token. And let's see what we got. Alright, reading this top to bottom, we have 2 doors and an ambush attack. Uh-oh. Alright, so Cavern of Bones. Okay, so Cavern of Bones, we have 2 doors and we have 3 exits. So just like our last one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to roll a d6, and whatever one we roll, that is the one that the end cap is going to go ahead and take the place of. Got a 3. So right here is where our end cap is going to stop heroes and enemies from going. Alright, next thing up is ambush attack. Alright, so we got an attack, but this time it's an ambush. Now there's 2 different types of attacks. We have normal attacks where the enemies are placed as far away from the heroes as possible, and then they're placed in a checkerboard fashion going every other square. The other one is an ambush attack, and this is where the enemies pop up next to our heroes. So let's go ahead and see what we have for our enemies. we go ahead and look at our low threat deck because we have 2 heroes. And we are going to end up having P dice of Stranglers. So we go and grab the P dice, which is the peril dice. We roll it, and that's how many Stranglers are going to attack. Or should I say, they're going to ambush. Oh, we get 5. Alright. So we got ourselves our 5 Stranglers. And when they come into play as an ambush, you would go ahead and roll the dice to randomly choose which hero the first one would attack. But as you can see, there are 2 squares in front, 2 squares in back. So these Stranglers are just going to go ahead and populate them automatically. Otherwise, you would roll randomly to see which hero they would go ahead and go up against first, and then you would go ahead and from there place it against the next hero that has the least amount of enemies next to them. Now we do have 1 extra here, so we're going to roll a d6. On an odd, he's going to be on this side. So he's even, so he's over here. That's where he came out of. Now this map tile, Caverns of Bones, has something special to it. In the area in the middle, there's a 2x2 square section that has a border around it. And what that means is that no one can enter or exit that area. Well, I guess you can't exit it if you can't enter it. But you can't enter that area, plus the line of sight through it is blocked. Okay, so if someone's going to do a ranged attack, they're going to need line of sight. So if there was an enemy over here, the Gunslinger could not shoot the enemy because it's going through these 2 squares here, which is blocking the line of sight. So this is going to go ahead and finish up step 3 for the room exploration of resolving the exploration token, which has now placed all the enemies on the tiles. We now go to step 4, end of the turn. So anything that happens here from cards or abilities, and our heroes are adjacent to each other, Comforting Presence would go into effect, but there is no wounds or sanity on the Gunslinger, so she's good to go. So we go back to the beginning of the turn, and step 1, hold back the darkness. So Shawna's going to go ahead and roll the 2d6. She is still in the 7+ stage with the hero posse marker, so she needs a 7 or better. 6. So that's not good. So she fails holding back the darkness, and it moves up 1 to space 7. Now we go on to our next step, which is step 2, models activate in initiative order. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get one of our Stranglers out there in the initiative order. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Stranglers and see what we got here. They're Stranglers and they are demons. They are medium sized with initiative of 4. Now they do have an ability called Ensnare, where Stranglers to hit rolls of 6 count as 3 hits each. They have a movement of 6 with an escape of 6+. They don't have any range, so their to hit melee is 3+. They have 4 combat dice, and each one is going to do 1 point if they hit. They have a defense of 2 with a health of 3. They have XP of 25 for the person that kills it, and since this is an introductory mission, we are not going to be using the elite chart. Okay, so they have an initiative of 4, but remember, it is an ambush attack. And what happens with ambush attacks is that the initiative is given +2. So right now the Stranglers have an initiative of 6. And now the Stranglers are tied with the Gunslinger for initiative of 6. But remember, on a hero to enemy tied initiative, the enemy is going to go first. So for just this turn, the enemy is going to go first with initiative of 6. Gunslinger will have initiative of 6. And then the Saloon Girl, she's going to have the initiative of 5. So we go to our second situation where heroes and enemies are on the map tile, and they have 1 movement, and number 2 is attack. So our 2 enemies, the Stranglers, are against Shawna first. So they're going to attack with 4 combat dice, and the one in back is going to attack, and they need a 3 or better to hit. Oh, well, that's not good. They got 4 hits on her. Ouch. So she's going to roll a defense roll that she has to roll a 3 or better. And she saves against 3 of them. So she gets hit once. Alright, now the Strangler in front of her is going to attack with the 4 combat dice. They need 3 or better, and she gets hit 3 times. So then she rolls against her defense of 3, and she makes all 3 of them. So no damage from the one in front. Okay, the 2 Stranglers on the Gunslinger are going to attack. The one in the back is going to attack. Ouch, this is really going to hurt. Remember, its ability, Ensnare, if it rolls a 6, it counts as 3 hits. So there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the Gunslinger needs to roll a 5 or better out of 6 dice. Okay, 1, 2. So she saves on 2, and she ends up failing 4. Ouch. Okay, the one in front of her is going to attack with the 4 combat dice. Oh my gosh. Alright, so she ends up getting the 3 from the 6, 4, and 5. 5, and she's got to get a 5 or better on her defense. Okay, she takes 3 damage this time. Ouch, ouch, ouch. She's getting close to her health. She's going to drop, maybe. We'll find out. Okay, we now go to our next. And the Gunslinger is up. So the Gunslinger, she's going to use her pistol and shoot twice. She needs a 3 or better to hit. And she hits twice. Very good. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and place 1 behind her and 1 in front of her. So the one behind her, she's going to shoot, and then she's going to, this time, the Saloon Girl, Shawna, yells out and says, "Are you sure you didn't load those special bullets in your gun?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that." That is correct. She spins the cylinder and puts a deadeye shot into the chamber as he shoots off to the one behind her. Does 5. And then the deadeye shot does +2 damage, so that's a total of 7. But you know what? You can apply the deadeye shot after the damage results are tallied. So she did 5 points of damage. The Stranglers have a defense of 2, which puts her damage at 3, and that's enough to actually kill the Strangler behind her. So we're going to go ahead and save the deadeye shot back into the cylinder. She's now going to go ahead and use her second shot on the one in front of her for damage. 6. So she doesn't need a deadeye shot on that one as the bullet explodes through the Strangler and puts it down on the ground. All right, well that ends the Gunslinger's step 2. And now we go to the Saloon Girl. She's going to go ahead and do her movement roll. She gets a 2. Which now I think about it, I think the Gunslinger didn't do a movement roll. Okay, so so Saloon Girl got a 2 on her movement, and now she's ready to attack. She's got her holdout pistol that she used, and as it says, free attack once per fight. Range of 3, they're right next to her, adjacent, so she doesn't have to worry about distance. She gets 1 shot, critical, on a 5 or 6. So she's going to go ahead and shoot at the 1. Well, she used 1 shot, and she needs a 4 or better. Alright, so she hits with a 5, which is a critical for the holdout pistol, as she spins it around her, and pow! Little gun goes off, shooting it, which is 5, which is critical, so it bypasses the 2 defense on the stranglers. So how much damage is she going to do? 6 points. Oh my gosh, that little gun had a kick and poof, took that strangler down. So now she's going to go ahead and she turns on the one in front of her, and she uses the holdout pistol as her regular shot. She needs a 4 or better. Oh, and just makes it a 4. So how much damage is she going to do to the strangler? 6. Oh, that's plenty, because 2 defense is going to drop the 6 damage to 4, and 4 is enough to kill the strangler in front of her. Alright, so that's going to end her turn, which ends step 2, and now we go to step 3, room exploration. Well, they've already explored the room because of the exploration token, so now we go to step 4, end of the turn. Our heroes are adjacent to each other, so Comforting Presence goes into effect, and she's going to heal up one of the wounds on her sister. So that ends the step 4, end of the turn. Now we come back to the beginning, and we're at step 1, hold back the darkness. So Shawna's going to go ahead and hold back the darkness. We are still in the 7+ stage. She gets an 8. That's good to go. Alright, now we go to step 2. Models activate in initiative order. We still have 1 strangler left on the board. It's its turn. It goes ahead and moves its 6, and it's going to go ahead and step forward. But which one is it going to attack? All enemies have to randomly choose which hero it attacks. Unless, for reasons I don't know of, it'll specify that it'll attack a certain one. So Odd is going to go against the Gunslinger. We get Odd, so it steps forward 1, and it's going to attack with 4 combat dice. It's 3 or better. Oh, and it gets 4 hits on the Gunslinger. So we go ahead and roll the defense, which is 5+ on the Gunslinger. Whoa, mega save there, mega save. All right, way to go there, Yvette, way to go. So she saves as the Strangler's tentacles and claws go flying all over the place, and she just says, all right, payback time, here we go. Strangler's step 2 is done, so now it moves down to the Gunslinger. Gunslinger's going to go ahead and do the movement roll. It gets a 3, but she's just going to stay there. And then she's going to go ahead and shoot her gun. Well, we'll see if she hits. So she shoots her gun with 2. She needs a 3 or better. She gets a hit. She gets a critical. So this is going to hurt. So the 2 hits on her. This one is going to do 5 points of damage, which straight up is enough to kill it, but we got to roll for the critical anyway. Oh, 6 points! So as the Strangler is falling to the ground, she loads another one into its head as it explodes and goes flying against the pile. Ouch, ouch, and ouch. Alright, so we got Strangler parts all over the place amongst the big pile of bones here that's in the middle here. So now we finished our fight, and at the end of the fight we have to do what's called catching your breath. So the Gunslinger had just finished her turn, so she had activated during this turn. The Saloon Girl did not activate during this turn. So the Gunslinger is going to get D3 worth of healing against the wounds or sanity in any mix. Alright, so she gets a D3, she gets 3, so she's going to heal up 3 of her wounds. Alright, and now we come to the Saloon Girl. Now the Saloon Girl, since she did not activate during this turn, she's going to get a D6 healing against the wounds or sanities that she has, or she could have a grit token. And she's kind of a little bit going kind of crazy and a little jittery there, and she's bleeding all over the place. So she's going to roll a d6 and see how much that she heals up. She gets a 5. Okay, so she's going to go ahead and spread it out between the 2 of them, taking 2 wounds, and she's going to take 3 sanity. So she heals up that much. She's like all jittery, like, okay, I think I feel better now. I think I do. Oh my gosh. Alright, so that ends their step 2 turn. And now they got to go ahead and loot the bodies. So there was just 1 of the threat cards here, which was for the Stranglers. So that means that each hero gets 1 loot card each. Alright, so Yvette, since you're the one that took him down the last, you get the first loot card, and she's going to get D3 Darkstone Rock. 20 XP, loot, Darkstone, and she gets a D3 worth. So we roll it. A 4, so that's a 2. So she's going to get 2 Darkstones. Alright, she's really getting a lot over there now. Woo! Alright, then we got Shawna. She gets her loot, and she gets, this should come in handy, 20 XP, loot and gear, and it says draw a gear card, or an artifact card if in Otherworld. Well, we're not in an Otherworld, so she gets a gear card. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take this, which is a loot, and put it back into the loot deck. And then she gets a gear card. And finding off to the side, she finds a crisp rose. Keywords are upgrade and plant. And it says attach to any item. Anytime you roll a 6 for move, you may also recover 1 grit. Very nice. Now down here in the red it says performer or showman only. It has 1 for an upgrade slot and $325 worth. So the keywords of performer or showman is that you look on the character sheets, and for the Gunslinger, down here, it says that she's a showman. You look at the Saloon Girls, and it says that she's a performer. So either one of the heroes can have the crisp rose. But since Shawna is right there and she's got the crisp rose, she says, because you gave me the axe, here, you get to have the crisp rose. And Yvette says, thank you. Now what she's going to do is, Yvette's got her pistol, which down below here says upgrade slots. There's 2 upgrade slots that you can apply to this pistol. So she's going to take the crisp rose, which requires 1 of them, and she's going to apply it to her pistol. So now, whenever she rolls a movement and gets a 6, she's going to recover a grit, which is good for her because she needs grit in order to use her upgrade pistol fanning. So we just put the crisp rose next to the pistol as a reminder. And now we continue as we finished up the step 2. And we take our loot card and put that in with the loot deck and give them a shuffle. So now we're on to step 3, which is room exploration. Well, we explored the room already because that's how the nasty stranglers came out and ambushed us. So we go ahead and we discard that exploration token. Go ahead and clear off our boards. Get rid of our strangler for the initiative area. And we get rid of the stranglers that we're attacking. And now we go to step 4, end of the turn. So our heroes are next to each other, they're adjacent, so the comforting presence is going to go off, and any kind of wounds or sanity that's on the heroes are going to get, on the adjacent hero, is going to get healed 1. And this ends the turn, and now we go back to the beginning. Step 1, hold back the darkness. So Shawna's going to go ahead and roll 2d6 to hold back the darkness. She gets a 9, and that is plenty good. So now we go and go to step 2, models activate in initiative order. So our Gunslinger, Yvette, she is up. And then we decide which way should we go, to the right or left. So odd is left. And even, so they're going to come down here. It's a little bit longer, but they decided to come over this direction. So our heroes are going to go with Yvette, the Gunslinger. They're going to do a movement and searching of scavenging and looking through a door. So Yvette's movement is a 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, she moves along, she kicks some of the bones away, and she tries and scavenges. Rolls 3d6. Nice! Got a 1 and 2 6s. Very good. Alright, so we go ahead and get the scavenge deck. And then remember, there's a scavenge token that I put on there as a reminder. So we put the scavenge token on the map tile. She gets 2 6s, so she gets to draw 2 scavenge cards right away. First one is, nothing here. Looks like she's been hanging around Shawna too much. Now she's starting to get nothing here's. 10 XP, scavenge. The room appears to have nothing of value. Nothing to find. Alright. Our next one. Useful discovery. 10 XP, scavenge. Pulling it from the gnarled hand of a dead body, you find something of value in this forsaken place. Draw a gear card. Alright, very good. Gear deck, and pulling from the hand is journal pages. Keywords are gear and journal. Discard to recover 1 grit and gain 50 XP, and the papers are worth $50. So she is not at her maximum of grit, so she's going to go ahead and discard her journal pages right away, and that's going to get her 1 grit. Then we go ahead and we discard that card because it's a gear card. We take our scavenge cards and we go ahead and put them back in the deck and give them a shuffle. Alright, next one up is the Saloon Girl. She's going to go ahead and do her movement. Alright, she gets a 1. Very good. She moves 1, and also, because of that, she gets a grit. She's doing pretty good. And now, she's going to scavenge, but the Gunslinger already scavenged, so she cannot scavenge. And she's too far away from the end tile here to go ahead and look through the door. So that's going to end her turn of step 2 and go to step 3, room exploration. Now they already explored this room, so we now go on to step 4, end of the turn. Now our heroes are not adjacent to each other, so they're going to go ahead and not be able to get healed up with comforting presence. So we go to the end of the turn, and now back to the beginning is step 1, hold back the darkness. So Shawna goes ahead and holds back the darkness. 7. Nope, that's good enough. If they got into that next stage pretty soon, that would not have been good enough. Alright, go to step 2. Models activate in initiative order. Our Gunslinger's up first, as she's going to do her movement. 2. There's 1, 2. Alright, and then her second part of searching, she's already scavenged the area, and she needs to wait for her sister to get up here before they can look through the door. So she's going to go ahead and skip her second part there of searching, and now it is the Saloon Girl's turn. She goes ahead and does her movement. Okay, she gets 4, and then her ability of fast, give her 1 for a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All the way over to the edge. Very good. So, now she's able to do looking through a door because this tile has been scavenged already. So we go ahead and look through the door, and we draw from the map deck of the mine. Remember, here's our reminder to say move the hero posse marker up 1. Now reminder, it is now in the second stage, which means hold back the darkness is an 8+. So what do we have for the map? We have the big room. Alright, so let's go ahead and find that tile. Alright, this is a big room. It's almost as big as the Cavern of Bones. So there's the big room, and it's actually upside down. There's the picture. There's our green arrow, which is the entrance here to our exit, which means now we need to go ahead and move our stuff around. Alright, there we go. So we got our new map tile laid down, which is the big room. And remember, we go ahead and remove our circle, put it on to the next one. And then we go and we just take the big room card, put it right down with the other ones. We get our exploration stack, and we go and put an exploration token onto the big room. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the video now. So go ahead and join us next time as we continue along, as we enter into our next room, the big room.